HaKadosh, good afternoon. We are Masechet Betzah Daf Yomi 10a1. If you remember now, what we're talking about now is the following. Here we're speaking about, if you remember, we were trying to make a stira, a contradiction, who was more mekel and who was more machmir for the necessity of Yom Tov, Simchat Yom Tov, which means until now in our original Mishnah, Bet Amud Aleph, we learned that Bet Shammai was Mekel. And Bet Hillel was Machmir.
Well, but it was
we afterward, no. When we said Mukhlefet Hashita, we didn't change our Mishnah. We changed the second Mishnah, not the original one. Remember, I told you, when a person could make a mistake, right? A person make a mistake, it's usually later on, not the beginning. Beginning, we're not going to say, well, Mukhlefet Hashita, usually we'll do it later on. Meaning later on. Now, the second one, we went, what was the first Mishnah? The first Mishnah was, can you do Shechita or not do Shechita, which means only if you have the Afar Mukhan or not. That was there, but Shammai says, do Shechita, even if it's not Mukhan. Says Bet Hillel, no, you have to have a Mukhan. So Bet Hillel is Mahmid, Shammai is Mekel. The second case was which one, right? So today's daf is basically Ela ikashya hakashya. So we want to make a contradiction, right, between this concept that Bet Shammai was more mekel, sorach simchat yom tov, Bet Hillel was machmir. So it says, right, the Mishnah is now lekaman. We had three Mishnayot until now: Mishnah on Bet Amud Aleph, Mishnah on Tet Amud Aleph, and Mishnah on Yud Aleph Amud Aleph. Okay, so in two dapim, right, which is going to be Sunday's daf, right? So on Sunday we're going to learn Bet Shammai Omri. So you're not supposed to take on Yom Tov the ali. The ali is a luach etz. It's like a chopping board. It's like a cutting board, right? To start cutting meat on it. Bet Hillel come and they say, some is according to Bet Shammai, it's a sur. Why? Even to do something which is going to be permitted because it's klish v'achol isur. And according to Bet Hillel, it's going to be mutar. So almas you see. To do with Gabes Simchat Yom Tov, Bet Shammai goes lechumra and Bet Hillel goes lekula. Well, meaning we have a contradiction. Bet Amud Aleph and Bet Amud Aleph, we just said Hashochet Chayav V'Ov. Bet Shammai Omrim comes and they say that it's going to be permitted. Bet Hillel says that it's going to be asur. So Rabbi Yochanan again, the same answer as always. Mukhlefet Hashita. What does it mean Mukhlefet Hashita? We're going to switch this one on Yud Aleph Amud Aleph. We're not switching the one of what's it called of Bet Amud Aleph. Bet Amud Aleph stays the same. We're switching the one in Yud Aleph Amud Aleph to do with using the cutting board or not using the cutting board. So says the Gemara, why are you going to tell me it's a contradiction? Mimai dilma lohi. Maybe it's not true. Akalo kamri Bet Shammai hatam. When does Bet Shammai only say that to do with the Mishnah of Chafira on that you're allowed to be chofer bedeker b'yom tov? Eleicha deika deker. No, it's because it's already stuck into the ground. And therefore, if it's going to be already stuck into the ground from Erev Yom Tov, that's why it's going to be permitted, because then it's only an Isud Rabbanan. And to do the Isud Rabbanan, they permitted in order to do the mitzvah of Kisui Dam Be'afar. But if there's no deker now, they didn't permit anything like that. Inami, or if you want, you could answer another answer. Over here, Bet Hillel is going to be more lenient. Even if it's going to be a Kli Shemachtul Isur. And therefore, since it's going to be a Kli, it's good. Aval hatam, but over there, right, in the case of lachpor b'deker, that according to Bet Hillel, there's an isur drabanan. We're not going to permit it. Why are we not going to permit it? So he says because there's going to be an isur drabanan. It's not a kli, it's not a utensil. Okay, so he says, and therefore because of that, that's why he's going to be machmid by us. Okay, fine. So now he comes and he says, Elai kashya, hakashya. So again, one more time, look what we did. We had the Mishnah Bet Amud Aleph. We asked a stira from the Mishnah on Tet. We were doche. We asked a stira now from Yud Aleph. We were doche. Now we're going to bring another case there also. But it's still in the same case in the Mishnah of Yud Aleph Amud Aleph. It says over there in the Mishnah, Bet Shammai Omrim, En notnim et haor lifnei hadarsan. We're not going to put the or, the skins, in front of the person that he tramples upon it. And they're not going to pick it up from the place, let's say it fell down, or after they skinned it, you don't pick it up. Why not? Because it's shmukse. So he says, unless it has a kezai basar. Because basically, if the skins have a kezai basar, it's still considered flesh, meaning it's still considered like the meat, and therefore it's going to be permitted. So mukse. Bet Hillel matirin. Bet Hillel says it's going to be permitted. Why? Right? Because basically, according to them, Bet Hillel says mi'ikar adin, even though there is an isur, but they permit it because tzorach mitzvat Yom Tov. Right? But if you're not going to permit it, so then we're going to suspect that you're not going to do shechita on Yom Tov because the skins are going to get ruined. Meaning we know that the skins, you make money out of the skins. You sell the skins, you make money. So if you're just going to do shechita and leave the skins there to rot, right? Who's going to do shechita? You're going to lose money. So therefore, the tzorach simchat Yom Tov, they permitted it. So 1 second, again, here you see that Hillel is matir, that Hillel is mekel, is lenient, and Bet Shammai are machminim. So Alma, so you see from here, Simchat Yom Tov to do the Simchat Yom Tov. Bet Shammai lechum, Bet Hillel lekula. Or meaning we have a contradiction. Yom Tov. Again, we always keep on asking from the original question from our Mishnah on Bet Amud Aleph. And so the Gemara, Rabbi Yochanan says, Rabbi Yochanan, Mukhlefet Hashita. You have to switch the Shita. So says the Gemara, Mimai. Why do you have to say that? Dil Malohi, maybe Bemet, it's not true. Why? When did Bet Shammai say over there? Because you already have the shovel stuck into the ground. And therefore, since the shovel is stuck into the ground, there's not even going to be any Isur D'Rabbanan, and therefore it's going to be permitted. But if the decker is not going to be Nautz, you have to text the online. Yeah, if you, right? Though, if you don't have the decker Nautz, which means you don't have the decker, the shovel which is inside, you would say no. Inami, or if you want, you could answer another answer. When is Bet Hillel going to be lenient here? Because basically you could lean on the leathers. I mean, these leathers, the skins, you could lie down upon them. So since you could lie down upon them, you could use them. So it's not like over hatam they're to do with the chafila bedeker. According to Bet Hillel, they're shayacha yisur d'Rabbanan because they don't permit it for simchat Yom Tov. Here it's fitting to do something. So because of that, it's two different halachot. So again, we're going to now bring a fourth question. Elai kashya, hakashya. Now we're going to switch from the Mishnah Yud Aleph Amud Aleph to Yud Aleph Amud Bet. Okay? Everyone's listening?
No.
What?
Where do you go?
Bet Shammai Omrim Bet Shammai says, Em mesalkin et trisin b'yom tov. You're not allowed to take off the dlatot, the chalonot, which are open on the chanuyot, on the stores on Yom Tov. So here we're talking about, let's say, stores which they sell food, and they're not connected to the ground. Okay, which means that the windows and everything, they're not connected to the ground. Bet Shammai says you're not allowed to do it. It's going to be assumed Rabbanan to take away, because we're going to suspect that then people are going to come. They're going to take off these like type of windows, and it's soter. You're not allowed to do soter on Yom Tov. Now here, soter is destroying. You're not allowed to destroy something in Yom Tov. So therefore, according to Bet Hillel says it's going to be permitted, af lachzir, even to put it back in, which means that you're allowed to even close it up. Right? Not only you're allowed to take it out, you're allowed to close it up. Now again, one more time. Here we're talking about that since it's not mechubar lakarka, it's not a really sur. Since it's not a really sur, that's why Bet Hillel says it's permitted. Bet Shammai says it's going to be prohibited. So Alma, so you see from here, right? Legabe simchat Yom Tov. Bet Shammai goes more stringent, and Bet Hillel goes more lenient. Or meaning we have a contradiction. Our Mishnah, Bet Amud Aleph. So says the Gemara, Bishlama Bet Shammai lakashya. It's good Bet Shammai and Bet Shammai. It's not going to be a contradiction. Why? Hatam dika deka nautz hacha leka deka. It all depends. Do you have the deka nautz or not? Did you have the right? Did you have it inside? Meaning, did you have it stuck inside or not? Ella Bet Hillel kasha, but Bet Hillel. You do have a contradiction. Rabbi Yochanan says, right? Mukhlefet hashita. Switch it, right? You guys could already tell me the shaklavataria. It's just like mamash it's a chazara. It just continues going. So says the Gemara, because here we didn't bring down the Bet Shammai, because we already brought down the answer of Bet Shammai to do with deker notes or non-deker notes. Now we're only bringing down Bet Hillel. There's no such thing as binyan ustira bekelim, meaning utensils which are movables. There's no such thing as binyan ustira, because binyan ustira has to be in a building. By a building, you could build and you could destroy. Something which is a movable object, there's no building or destroying. So because of that, that's why he's going to say that he's going to be lenient. But to do with chafira bedeker, you're digging in the ground. Since you're digging in the ground, that's why he was going to be machmir. So therefore, it has to do with the binyan, it had to do with the building. Okay? Fine. Mishnah. Until everyone clear? Okay? Mishnah Yud Amud Aleph. So Bet Shammai Omrim. Bet Shammai comes and they say, Lo yitol, you're not allowed to take the yonim from one shovach on Yom Tov, right? Unless you move it during the day. Erev Yom Tov, you have to come and you have to move them. Okay, which means that that's how you're doing hachana for the birds, right? In order to do shechita on them on Yom Tov. Okay, Bet Hillel omrim, you don't have to move them. Omed ve'omer zev zev ninotel. All you have to do is just stand and you say, from here and from here I'm going to take. Meaning you just point. You're going to say from here and from here. That's all you have to do. You don't have to do anything else. Okay, fine. Says the Gemara, Amar Rav Chanan Barami, says Rav Chanan Barami, the machloket between Bet Shammai and Bet Hillel is bivricha rishona, is only the first zug of gozalot, right, which was born in that time frame. Okay, because b'derech klal they don't take them for shechita, because again, since it's the first ones, so you don't take from the first ones. Okay, the Bet Shammai Sabri was Bet Hillel holds kazrin and dima telimluchem. Maybe you're going to make a zera, maybe you're going to regret it and you're not going to take it. So therefore, you're going to put them back. Now, if you took them and then you put them back on Yom Tov, what did you just do? Muktzeh. Because if you took them and you're going to do shechita to them, so then it's okay. But if you took them and then you're going to put it back because you decided you don't want them again, so that's called muktzeh. You just move muktzeh. So says Bet Shammai, we're going to make a decree, right, that you're going to put them back. However, though, Bet Hillel says, Lo gazrinu, we do not make such a decree. And therefore, if you took them on Yom Tov, you're not going to put them back. You'll do shechita to them. But in bivricha shniya, which means, right, what is bivricha shniya? Bivricha shniya means to do with the second group, right? According to everybody, right? That means right now, what do we just do? We just said that even Bet Shammai are going to agree to Bet Hillel lekula, in which case, bivricha shniya, in the second group of the ones which are born. The first group of the ones who are born, no. Because you want them to have more children and to procreate, and then you're going for the second group. That's what you want, right? Or Bet Hillel, but according to Bet Hillel, lama lilmeima, what do I have to say? Zev zolun, I'm going to take from here. Lema mikan telemachar, just say from here. I'm going to take from tomorrow. Why? If you just say, why did you have to say this one and this one specifically? Just say in general. I'm going to take from this. So the Gemara, maybe you're going to tell me Bet Hillel does not hold the breira. He says, right, we learned in the Mishnah. The Mishnah says, right, Hamet, right, Babayit, Velo Petachim Arbe. What happens right now if you have a met, which is in the house, okay, and there's a lot of entrances and exits, and all of them are closed. Now, you don't know which one you're going to open it up for the met, right? You have to take out the met. Question is from which entrance or exit? From which one? So, Kulan Tmeim, all the entrances are going to be Tameh. Niftach echamen, but if you open up one of the entrances, hu tameh, that one that you opened up is tameh, the kulan teorin, and everything else is going to be tahor. Okay, so you see from here, right, the kelim which are going to be. So therefore, you see that he does hold of breira. This is breira. You're saying that retroactively, I already know which one you're going to come and you're going to open up. Chishev lo teo bechamehen, says the Mishnah. What happens if you want to take out through one of them, or bechalon sheishal barabara, or through a window that has 4x4 tfachim? So that's going to save all the other ones. He says no. Shammai says only if you thought about it before the guy died. Bet Hillel says no. Even when he dies, you could still do that. So you see from here that according to them, the machloket, if it's going to be talui in breira or not. Bet Shammai hold that there's no breira, which means that if you only thought about it after death, it doesn't help. But according to Bet Hillel, you say breira, which means retroactively, if the person would have known, they would have taken it out, this exit. So says the Gemara, Hayitmanullah was already stated, Amarabba says, we're talking about that you wanted to purify the entrances from now onwards. And that's what Rav Oshi also said, to purify the ptachim, the entrances, from now onwards. Only from now onwards you wanted to save it. But to do with lemafreya, we don't say that. That means Bet Hillel also are not going to be mutahed, because we don't say breira. So therefore, according to this, it comes out be'emet. The be'emet Bet Hillel holds that there's no breira, right? Because they never wanted to permit it lemafreya retroactively, just mikanu laba from now onwards. Okay, so that's the first answer, right? To answer up the stira. And according to Bet Hillel, does he hold a breira or not? He doesn't hold a breira. So says the Gemara, Rava comes and he says, leolam lemafreya. Really, be'emet, we're going retroactively. So what's the reasoning why over here there's a bit, the Mishnah say you have to be from Erev Yom Tov to actual birds. They say I want this one and I want this one and I want this one. Why does he have to actually designate which ones? So he says, Dilma maybe metaltel v'shavik, metaltel v'shavik. Metaltel midi lo chazile. He says, you know why? Maybe you're going to pick one up, you're going to put it down, pick up another one, put it down, until you're going to decide which one. And then you're going to be metaltel midi lo chazile. And then you're going to come and you're going to be metaltel something which is not fitting. The ha-marta, so says the Gemara, 1 second. If the entire problem is again also moving muktzeh and you didn't need it, ha-marta, you already said omer ve'omer. All you have to do is you're standing and you're saying it. Zevzen and the is already up. You don't have to touch it. So you didn't have to touch it. Why is Bet Hillel making gzirah that maybe you're going to pick it up and you're going to move it without needing? So you're not touching it. You're just saying it with your mouth. So answers the Gemara, when is it enough just to say it with your mouth? Me'erev Yom Tov. On Erev Yom Tov, you don't have to do anything. All you have to do is say it with your mouth. Okay? Yudamu bet. Aval b'Yom Tov, on Yom Tov itself, asur. You're not allowed to. Right? Why? He says, the zinin nishtach shmenim kechushim, uchushim shmenim, because you thought that you were going to take a fat one and all of a sudden became very skinny. You took a skinny one and became a fat one. And then what's going to happen is you're going to be metaltel for something that you don't want. Because all of a sudden you're going to pick it up. You're going to say, I wanted this one yesterday. Look how skinny it is. I thought it was much fatter yesterday. Forget about it. But this one's fat. Boom, you take it. Big juicy one. Yeah, you want meat on Yom Tov. Inami, or if you want, you could have another answer. Yeah, he says, maybe all of them are going to be skinny ones. The shavik lu, and then you're going to leave it. That's so then you're going to not do simchat Yom Tov, right? Why? Because if you're not going to do it properly, that you're not going to purchase it for Yom Tov, you're going to say, yeah, I'm going to have 2 or 3 fat ones in my. You go, they're all skinny. So because they're all going to be skinny, and then you're not going to do shechitana because you're not going to have. So you're not going to do simchat Yom Tov. So no, we don't hold it. Mishnah Yudamul Bet says a Mishnah. Zimen shchonim matzah levanim, levanim matzah shchonim. Right? What happens right now? Remind me, Dina, that tomorrow I have to bring to you. Right? But you have to remind me. You have to send me a text. I have the Mishnayot with pictures. Right? The Mishnayot, very good pictures. Right? On Mishnayot. So it says like this: Zimen shchorim. Imagine right now, right? You come and you ordered shechorim, gozalim shechorim, and matzah levanim. You found white ones. Levanim, you again not ordered. You prepared. I mean that you said I'm going to use the white ones, and then you found black ones. Shnayim matzah shlosha. You went and you said I'm going to have these 2, but there were only 2, and all of a sudden you found 3. Right? Asurim. In all these cases, asurim. Why do I say asurim? Because I'm going to say that for sure the original ones disappeared. They ran away, and these are new ones. Yeah, that means basically they switched. Okay? Shlosha matzah shnayim. What happens if there were 3 and only you found 2? It's going to be permitted. Why? I'm going to say 1 ran away, and the other 2 are the original from the original 3. If it was inside and now you found them in front, it's going to be asurim. Why? Because maybe they ran away and now these are other ones. But if there's the only ones which are around them, so then it's going to be permitted. Okay? So now let's see the Gemara. Gemara says, Pshita, obviously, if you went and you found other pigeons, meaning other birds, obviously there are other ones. That means you didn't prepare these ones. They're completely new birds. Rabba says, what are you dealing with? No. You prepared black and white, but then you woke up, and when you left the black ones, you found the white, and when you left the white, you found the black. So I would have thought to say, the same ones, but they just switched positions. No, these ones, they ran away, and these are other ones that came in. That means they just didn't switch positions. It switched. Okay? So says the Gemara, this actually helps. So that which Rav Chanina says. Right? Says Rav Chanina, Rov vekarov, halach achar rov. If you have a majority and you have proximity, what's stronger? Majority or proximity? So he says over here, we go after the majority. So here, the majority of the birds, they come from the world or from here? From the world. Where's the proximity? From here, because they're already here. Majority and proximity, we go after majority. Okay? Kedamar Abaye, just like Abaye says. So now this is, we're trying to push this off, and we're trying to say that's not true. Kedamar Abaye, daf. We're talking about the daf. What does it mean? It has a daf which is sticking out. And that's where all the gozolot are coming from other places as well. Hachanami b'daf, here too. That means basically if you have a long ledge sticking out of the shovach, so a lot of the birds are going to come from other places here in order to start setting on top of it. So that's why it's going to be prohibited. Okay, shnaim matzah shlosha. If you have 2 and then you found 3, it's going to be asur. Manavshach says the Gemara, manavshach. Why? If there's going to be other birds, these are other birds. And if they're not other birds, you have one bird which got mixed up, and that bird was not designated. So since it wasn't designated, it's going to be prohibited. So now continues the Gemara, right? The two dots. If you had three birds and now you only found two, it's going to be permitted. My time I was reasoning. It says no, these are the same ones, but one of them just ran away. So ran away, but it's the same two, so there's no problem. So it says the Gemara, so why don't we just say our Mishnah is like Rabbi, like Rabbanan? Tanya was willing to the Beitzah. Imagine right now, I left inside of a box $100, and then I come and I found $200. Yeah. So what happens? So we're going to say that it's going to be chulin. It's going to be chulin Masechet, which is mixed up, which means that one of them is going to be right. One of the manes is going to be chulin, right? And the other one, since I don't know what it is, so one of them is chulin, one of them is Masechet. Okay. You understand what happened? Basically, what happened was that I went right, and this is a Beitzah. I took 100 zuz of Masechet. I had in a box. All of a sudden, I found 200 zuz. So the second 100 zuz is going to be regular money. It's not Masechet. These are the words of Rebbe. Chachamim say everything is chulin. Why? Because the full 100 disappeared, and now there's a new 200. Because you had 200, you didn't have 100. So it says, what about the opposite case? If I put $200, right, of Masechet, and now I come back and only found 100. So munach, right? So what happens? Umane mutal. So according to Rabbi says, right? He says matzah maneh munach. He says over here like this. He says maneh mutal, which means maneh munach, maneh mutal, right? Whatever was left over. So it comes out that the maneh is the Masechet. Chachamim omrim everything's chulin. So it comes out that you see that according to the rabbis, I always say it's a new entity. I don't say that half of it was taken or not. The entire thing was taken and the entire thing came new. Not that only half of it was taken, part of it was taken. So says the Gemara, no. Even if you wanted to say like the rabbis, it was already said in Rabbi Yochanan and Rabbi Lazar that they both said, Shane gozalot, it's different gozalot, hoil vasuyin ledadot. Gozalot are different than matbeot. Why are gozalot different than matbeot? He says because they are made ledadot. What does that mean? It says it's normally, right, the gozalot, they come and they start walking on their own. Right? When was the last time you saw money running away? Doesn't have legs. Money has legs. You probably do know. Money runs away from people. Yeah, but it does. He says it's a difference. So says the Gemara, why do we have to come and say such an answer? Why do we have to say that? It was already said that Rabbi Yochanan and Rabbi Lazar, one of them said that in two different pockets, right, is going to be a machlok, meaning two different like wallets. Meaning the machlok was going to be in two different pockets or two different wallets or two different safes. But if it's going to be in the same one, according to everybody, it's chulin. The Chadamar, one of them said, no, in kis echad is a machloket. But in shnei kisin, according to everybody, mane munuach, mane mutal. Right? You took one and you left the other one there. So bishlam alamandam b'shnei kisin is machloket. Hainu ditzich l'shnei achad. That's what we needed to answer. Shani goes lot the dot. That's why you're going to come and you're going to tell me it's different. Goes a lot because they could run out on their own. But according to the mandamar, b'kis echad is machloket. Aval b'shnei kisin divrei kol, according to everybody, mane munach, mane mutal. So why do we have to answer this answer then? Hamarta, you already said shnei kisin no plige, that there's no machloket in such a case. That even in the case of matbeot and Masechet, if they were in two different arnakim, they're two different wallets, there's no machloket between Rabbi and Chachamim. According to everybody, whatever was taken, right? Mashenital manachamem, and when it doesn't show anything on the other one. So Ravashi comes and he says, no. Here we're talking about that they're tied together. They're tied. The gozalot are tied right together, and the kisim are tied together. So therefore, gozalot menatre adadi. Gozalot, they come, they separate, and then it tears apart. Meaning, because they're birds, they could continue to do that until it tears apart. Kisim, wallets don't run on their own. So therefore, if it's tied together, it's tied together. So because of that, that's why there's going to be the difference between the wallets and the gozalot. Rebbe, and according to Rebbe, Amalachai is going to tell you, kisim nami also by the wallets, zimlin, the mitakel katrayu. Sometimes it starts detaching its string, right, the knot in between, and therefore it's going to be separate. And we continue tomorrow, B'ezrat Hashem, on Yud Aleph Amud Aleph.